I'm about to get my feelings hurt on this fine Saturday morning because for today's video I decided to read 1-star reviews of my favorite books. I actually got this idea from another YouTuber that goes by the name Larry Reads. I'll have her channel linked down below. You guys should definitely check out her video because it is hilarious. It's probably 10 times funnier than this video if I'm being honest, but I still thought this would be a really fun video to upload on my channel since it's very different from what I normally upload. I also just want to do a quick disclaimer. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. You don't have to love my favorite book. I don't have to love your favorite book either, but as long as we respect each other's opinions, we can get along quite well. So just keep that in mind. Take this video with a grain of salt. It's simply for fun. I'm currently laying in my bed with my blanket, very cozy and comfortable. I have my book phone case on and I'm ready to get my feelings hurt. So I picked out 5 books for this video. I picked out The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I feel like this book is hated on a lot and I'm not here for it. Then I have Beach Read by Emily Henry, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, The Kiss Colton by Helen Huang, and Verity by Colleen Hoover. I'm just going to go on Goodreads and read some 1-star reviews of my favorite books. I think I'm going to start with The Spanish Love Deception because I feel like at one point all I would see online were people raving about this book, and now I feel like all I see online is people shitting on this book. So I don't know how I feel about that. I do think that you're either going to love or hate this book, no in between. I just happen to fall under the category of being obsessed with this book. I gave it a 5-star rating. It's one of my all-time favorite books. I don't even know if I should give you guys a quick synopsis on these books because I've talked about them so much. Should I do a quick synopsis? I'm going to quickly tell you guys what these books are about before I start reading the 1-star reviews in case you haven't read these books yet, just so you have an idea of what they're about. I'm not going to include any spoilers or anything like that, but The Spanish Love Deception is basically a fake dating enemies to lovers workplace romance type of book. It follows Catalina, who is desperate for a date to her sister's wedding. Her family thinks that she's going to end up alone, which puts all this pressure on Catalina to find a date for her sister's wedding in Spain. Her co-worker slash enemy, Aaron Blackford, who I love, volunteers himself to pretend to be Catalina's boyfriend and agrees to go to Spain with her to attend her sister's wedding, and then the lines to their fake relationship start to blur. So that's pretty much the gist to this book. So let's just start reading the 1-star reviews, okay? I'm not ready. I have never wanted for a book to be over so bad. This is just a boring version of The Hating Game. I'm sorry, but I think that this book is way better than The Hating Game. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed The Hating Game, but I don't understand the hype behind that book, if I'm being honest. It took me more than 3 weeks to finish this. 3 weeks. This person used a lot of exclamation points. This just dragged on and 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 on. Are you getting bored slash annoyed by me writing this? Imagine reading this book. Everyone that hates this book says that the book dragged on, and I just don't agree. And here's the thing, I hate slow burns, and for some reason with The Spanish Love Deception I felt like it was not fast-paced but easily paced. Is that even a thing? I don't know. I read it in one sitting. I didn't want to put it down. I was invested in Aaron's and Catalina's love story from the very beginning. I loved Catalina's character. Aaron Blackford has my heart, so I was never bored. I've read slow books and I feel like this is not a slow book. This whole book could have been avoided had Aaron just asked Lena on a damn date in chapter 1. Bye. Okay, don't leave yet. But isn't that the whole point of the fake dating trope? Every fake dating book could be avoided if one of the main characters just ask each other out. But what's the point of that? Then we wouldn't have fake dating books. Clearly, this person is not a fan of the fake dating trope, which it's fine. We don't all need to be fans of the fake dating trope. It's not for everyone, but it's for me. I have been cheated. Have you? This book is a scam. Would I call it bad? No. House of Night was bad. No idea what that is. The Twilight movies were bad. Okay, now you're just breaking my heart. The Twilight movies have a special place in my heart. They are part of my childhood. I would not allow any slander towards the Twilight movies. Like, I don't care. Yes, the first one was a little cringe. It was very low budget, but they get better and the budget gets bigger. I still, till this day, watch the Twilight movies. I watched them again a couple months ago. Like, I'm obsessed with the Twilight movies. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Sorry. But this was so mind-numbing horrible that I have no words to describe its disgustingness. You find this book disgusting? That's harsh. That's very harsh. It was horrible. Wait, I already called it that. Yeah, you did. Then it was dreadful, horrible, awful, terrible, appalling, hideous, costly, harrowing, gruesome. Okay, gruesome, first of all, I don't think you're using that word correctly. It was so bad that it made my vocabulary run out and I had to copy paste words from Google. Okay, I think you're being a tad dramatic because gruesome, this is not that. 90. Do you know what this number is? That's the fucking amount of times Aaron Dickhead's eye color was mentioned. Don't refer to Aaron Blackford as a dickhead, please and thank you. That is just rude. It's a romance book. Normally romance writers mention like female or male physical characteristics multiple times. So is this your first time reading a romance book? Was Aaron's eye color mentioned that many times? I don't remember. So maybe it was, and since I was just in love with him, I let it pass. I don't know. I don't know what book y'all read, but it can't be this. There's no way that this is what everyone was raving about. I'm sorry, but someone has to say it. This was one of the worst romance novels I've ever read. Again, a tad dramatic. The worst romance novel you've read? Like, I've read some pretty shitty romance novels. This ain't it. So I'm convinced we did not read the same book. Maybe your copy wasn't the final copy, I don't know. But the worst romance book? You really going to sit there and call this the worst romance book ever? No. Impossible. Next up we have Beach Read. This book stole my heart. I absolutely loved the main characters. It follows January and Augustus. They're both authors who are experiencing writer's block. So in order to help their writer's block, they decide to swap genres. Augustus will write a romance novel and January will write a fiction novel. Through them swapping book genres, they start spending a lot of time together to get to know each other's genre, essentially. That sounds a little dirty, but I promise it's not. It is a enemies to lovers kinda. I don't really consider them enemies. I just feel like they didn't really know each other all that well, but I guess it's enemies to lovers. Really, really good book. A great book to read in the summer, but honestly, you can read this book any time of the year because you're probably going to love it, unless you're one of the few people that gave it a 1-star review. This person said, "How do people cry while reading this? I wanted to bang my head against the wall. I think I have no heart." Yeah, I don't think you have a heart either. Unofficially taking a break that no one asked for from romance because I'm apparently a stone cold bitch unless your name is James Herondale. I don't know who that James is, but Augustus from Beach Read is pretty amazing. Like, he's one of my all-time favorite book boyfriends, so can't relate. DNF. I tried to finish this one like you wouldn't believe, but I found myself far too incredibly bored with the characters to care. You were bored with January and Augustus? How is that possible? I absolutely loved their characters. I am someone that nitpicks characters and can easily get annoyed by a character in a book. Like, I'll be the first one to admit it, but for some reason I was not annoyed by January and Augustus. Like, I absolutely adore those two together and I have zero complaints regarding them. So again, can't relate. I felt like I was eating bad candy. Well, I felt like I was eating delicious candy. This was my most disappointing read of 2021 so far. After loving People We Meet on Vacation so much and giving it 5 stars, I was so excited to check this one out. Unfortunately, it just fell flat for me. Okay, here's the thing. I was not a fan of People We Meet on Vacation because I'm just not a fan of the friends to lovers trope. I found that if you love, typically, not always, if you loved People We Meet on Vacation, then you're most likely not going to enjoy Beach Read. And if you enjoyed Beach Read, then you're most likely not going to enjoy People We Meet mean on vacation. Of course, there are people out there that absolutely love both books, but from what I've seen from reading comments online from you guys and reading reviews, most people like either or, not both. And I actually fall under that category because again, I didn't really enjoy People We Meet on Vacation. I don't understand the hype behind that book. Although I did enjoy the main character Poppy, I thought she was so fun and outgoing, but I just didn't like the love story between her and Alex. Beach Read, on the other hand, 5-star, my favorite Emily Henry book of all time. So I think it just comes down to personal preference, honestly. Honestly, I did not finish this book. I gave up at the end. Don't waste your time like I did. It is not a waste of time. If you haven't read this book, please go read it. Don't listen to these bad reviews. This was so hideously boring. Wow, okay. The two leads had literally zero chemistry at all. They had all the chemistry in the world. Decades down the road, January and Gus will be in an unsatisfying, loveless marriage, and Gus will feel unfulfilled and yearning for more. And he'll finally have more material for the ultimate literary fiction featuring a married white man who desperately wants to cheat. Mind blown with that last sentence. But also, why would you wish a loveless marriage on anyone? That's just horrible. Augustus and January will have a long marriage filled with love, so they're not concerned with this review. Even though they're not real, they're still not concerned. Moving on to Verity, my all-time favorite Colleen Hoover book. This should come as no surprise to you guys. It follows a ghostwriter who moves into a author's house to finish the author's book series because the author Verity has recently been in an accident and she can't finish the book herself or finish the series herself. And through the process of the ghostwriter moving into Verity's house, she finds Verity's manuscript, which is a very dark autobiography. The ghostwriter is trying to figure out whether she should tell Verity's husband about this manuscript because it's supposed to be an autobiography, so it's supposed to be the truth. There's like some brutal, dark confessions in that manuscript that has the ghostwriter questioning Verity's sanity, I guess is the best way I can put it. Again, very dark, but so good. What fucking bullshit. I like that she was straight to the point. I respect that. I've just finished Verity and wish it were possible to open up my skull, take out my brain, and dip it in disinfectant. What I love about 1-star reviews is that they're always so dramatic. Like, this person literally wants to open up their skull, take out their brain, and dip it in disinfectant. Like, how dramatic are you? I kind of want to meet you because I feel like you would be so fun to be around. That is a whole new level of dramatic. Horrible, nasty trash. This is not trash. This is the opposite of trash. This is like gold. I freaking love this book. The last 20 pages felt as if Hoover eventually realized that she didn't have a twist in her thriller, so she quickly decided to throw something in there. Okay, so there is a huge twist at the end of this book that really messed with my mind, but I don't think it was because Colleen Hoover ran out of content for her book. I just think she wanted the reader to question everything that they read. Clearly, this person missed that point that Colleen Hoover was trying to make. So I suggest you go back and read the book again. Maybe you'll get a different perspective. I mean, if you like sex scenes drier than a biology textbook, sure, go off, I guess. Tell me how you really feel. I am one that I'm not a huge fan of super spicy books. So for me, spicy scenes in a book don't really do much for me. Like, I find them kind of corny. I kind of agree with this person, but I still love this book. You're joking, right? Are you joking? And you actually absolutely love this book? I think so. Ow, my foot fell asleep. Next up, we have Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I still haven't watched the movie. I need to. This one follows Kaya, who was abandoned by her entire family at a very young age. So she's forced to live out in a marsh alone. You basically get to see her grow up. It is a coming of age story. You get to see her fall in love for the first time. There's also a little bit of a murder mystery element to this book. Ignore all the 1-star reviews that I'm about to read because I fell in love with this book. I cry like a baby at the end of this book, and the twist literally messed with my mind that I was still thinking about it for days after I had put the book down. So highly recommend this book. I envied Kaya's mother for walking out of this book on page 6 and not having to suffer through the rest of it like I did. That is just so heartless. Like, how could you say that? I can see why this book didn't make you cry. I don't think you have a heart. I like COVID more than this novel. What? Are you kidding me right now? I doubt that's true. Too unrealistic to enjoy. While the reading is good, the story is so nonsensical. A 6-year-old left alone in a shack raises herself, living in the same shack, using the same boat, and no one lifts a hand to help her. I don't think you realize how cruel humans can be, and I can for sure see this happening. Kids get abandoned every single day. They may not get abandoned in a marsh, but there are kids who fend for themselves at a very young age. So it's actually sad and quite realistic. I'm lowering my rating to 1 star because I'm a hater and I would like to contribute to this book and its author being humble. It sounds to me like you're giving this a 1-star review because you hate how popular it is, so you want to bring it down, but unfortunately it's just not going to work. Sorry. I feel a moral duty to review this book because it was so ungodly awful. I feel like it's my moral duty to tell you that this book is amazing and that you should read it. Are we sure Reese Witherspoon can read? That's a little mean, you guys. Like, Reese Witherspoon is iconic. Let's not disrespect her like that. All right, we're down to the last book of the video, The Kiss Colton by Helen Huang. This one is a very cute love story. It follows Stella and Michael. Stella has autism, so she finds it very hard to be intimate with another person. Hence, she hires Michael, who is an escort. I know it sounds horrible, but you guys, it just works. She hires Michael to help her enjoy actually being physical with men, and throughout that process they actually end up falling in love. Again, it's a beautiful, beautiful love story. Stella has my heart. If any of these reviews talk crap about Stella, I might be ready to fight, because don't come for Stella. She is just such an adorable, beautiful soul that how could you not like her? I will not stand for Stella slander. Let's read 50 Shades with Asperger's and a gender swap. Garbage. How is this a Goodreads Choice Award winner? First of all, I didn't know that this was a Goodreads Choice Award winner, so let's clap for that. I will agree that this is kind of 50 Shades-esque because it is very spicy. Granted, I didn't know that going into the book, and that did take me by surprise, but I enjoyed it. So there's that. And also, I love the 50 Shades of Grey series, so I'm not complaining. A friend sent me this because they thought the science romance would engage me. That's why I didn't DNF it. I was just bored through most of the book. It just wasn't for me or other fans of the love hypothesis, I suspect. I suspect you're wrong, because I loved a love hypothesis and I loved this book. So you can be a fan of both. The 120 pages I read from this book were painful and uncomfortable to read because of the main character. We're not given enough of her to love her. Actually, we are. Before we're thrown into her mission, and I winced more than once reading this. Didn't care for any of them and seemed cheesy and predictable. Okay, there were some parts that were cheesy in this book, I'll give you that, but it just added to the love that I had for Stella and Michael. So again, I'm not really complaining. Nah. It's a no for me, love. It's a yes for me, love. Oof. I appreciate when people write 1-star reviews and just get straight to the point and just have 1-word answers. Like, oof. There's so much power packed behind that word. Even though I don't agree, I can respect it, and those types of reviews make me laugh. Like, oof. That's all you can write about this book. There we have it, you guys. I survived reading 1-star reviews of my all-time favorite books. I can't believe that I did that, but this video is actually really fun to film. I think it's funny. I love that we're all entitled to have our own different opinions. Can you imagine how boring the world would be if we all like the same things? Like, no. I really appreciate that we all have different opinions, different tastes, and it just makes the world a better and more fun place to be in. So I actually don't get offended by 1-star reviews, or if a person has a different opinion than me, I will still recommend these books on my channel for the rest of my life. I love them, and if you haven't read them, I highly recommend for you guys to check them out. But that is pretty much it. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with any of these 1-star reviews that I mentioned. Maybe you hate the books that I recommend. I don't know why you watch my videos then. And that is pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you a part of my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.